Hello and welcome back. This is part 6 of my playthrough on Final Fantasy I, the Pixel Remaster. Last time we made it up through the beginning of the Earth Cave and trashed the vampire in, what, 2 rounds, 3 rounds maybe, and got the Star Ruby, which now we need to go use that somewhere. I've not done anything since the last time, so we're picking up literally where we left off, right outside the Earth Cave. I just got a new video capture card because the last one kept freezing up on me and made for a really miserable experience until it started working, just sort of praying that it would do the right thing. But hopefully this one worked better now that I've got it up and running. Took about 8 different combinations of 4 different HDMI cables, still couldn't get it figured out. Finally realized I needed a firmware update on the new card, and now everything's working great. So hopefully this will hold up and prove itself over time. So this is actually my first time recording anything not in the middle of the night. Normally when I do the gaming at all, it is at night after my family is asleep, and I've got sort of the house to myself. It's quiet and there's very few interruptions unless somebody wakes up, that sort of thing. So it's a nice quiet time for gaming, and especially now for doing these captures. But I'm testing out the new setup, so I felt it was justifiable use of my time to record one of these during the daytime here. So this combo, the 9-character Gaston Ghoul, this is one that I always used to be deathly afraid of, since it was... if you couldn't kill things fast enough, that's one of those prime battles where you could very easily find yourself stun-locked. And just... with this many hit points, they don't do enough damage, though. You would sit there and you usually had enough time before you started actually dying off to get someone to recover and either try and get the heck out of that fight, or you could turn the fight around and still win, but you just get a massive hit point drain out of a fight that you can win in 5 seconds if you get the right spell off. But otherwise, you know, if your white mage gets stunned and they don't get free in time, you can sit there and piecemeal your way through with your fighter, and then your fighter gets stunned. Then you wait for someone else to get unstunned. It's your thief, and then you get your thief to go, and you kill one more undead, and you sort of pick your way through the fight one by one, because nobody wants to be able to run away. It's one of those sort of nightmare scenarios when you're gaming, as you just watch your team slowly die in front of you. I do have Star Ruby.
You need Star Ruby, and I let you pass.
A rock biter?
Nothing tastes yummier than rubies.
Yeah, what do rubies actually taste like? Because, you know, I'll be honest, I've never licked a ruby in my life. I don't plan on ever licking a ruby, but what in the chemical composition of a ruby would make it taste good? Especially over any other options. Maybe my palate isn't just not defined well enough, or refined well enough to appreciate the taste of ruby. Star Ruby, nonetheless. No forced battles here, so there's nothing for them to replace with the little cloaked monster icon. Which again, and we will see more of them, I guarantee it. Not a fan of that change in this version. Axe, money, and the helm. None of which can I use. They will all be sold to further the cause of my Gil account. Yeah, getting the shields. Last time I made it over to Crescent Lake, and bought shields for the thief and the red mage. And as soon as you can get those shields, I think they got bucklers, is what it was. As soon as you have those available and you can put them on, that is one more chance for you to be able to dodge attacks. And you know, it doesn't happen all that often, but often enough that it is completely worth the cost of whatever it takes to do. Unfortunately, they're fairly cheap. Yeah, you guys can work on the hyenas. Nice shot, Paladin. I was looking at some information on Final Fantasy today. I was talking to my wife about how my success and failures so far in getting this capture process up and running, and mentioned how old Final Fantasy is compared to the internet and things like that, and how difficult, the internet did technically exist, but it was not a place you could go look for information yet. There was no such thing as a search engine at first, and so you could find some information in certain places if you knew where to look eventually, but when this came out, that was absolutely not an option. And so I went down a rabbit hole of reading a little bit about of Final Fantasy on the Nintendo when it was first released, and I had forgotten you only had 4 characters to make your name of your characters, and it reminded me that the first white mage I ever made in here was in fact Palin, named for the same source from the Dragonlance series. Or maybe he wasn't the very first one, because I don't think the Palin had been written yet when this came out, but he's the first white mage name that I remember, and he was named Paln because there were only 4 characters, so he was just Paln, and I had to remember that was who he was. Or maybe, wait a second, because he first appeared in one of the stories in the of Dragonlance. I may need to look that up, because I don't remember. He may actually have been the first white mage. I know absolutely the first black mage that I ever named in this game was named Rast. And again, from Dragonlance, one of the best mage characters ever written for any type of storytelling comes from the original Dragonlance books, the Chronicles. And his name is Raistlin, and his nickname is shortened to Raced. But again, that's 5 characters. So we shortened it to Rast as the Black Mage. And for the longest time, thinking back to the books, I started pronouncing his nickname Rast, and I called him Rastlin, because I only had Rast in this game. And I don't know how long it was before I finally, wait a second, no, it's Raced. I've been thinking about his name wrong for the last 10 years. I'm like, it's something along those lines for the time. It's a little ridiculous. It was just one of those weird associations to have gotten wrong because of how this game made me spell his name. It was a very random thing to have happen. I do remember one of my first fighters, the first time I ever ran a double fighter team in this game. I don't remember one of the fighters' names, but the second one was named Kaz, K-A-Z, possibly 2 Z's just for the heck of it, and it named after Kaz the Minotaur, also from Dragonlance, in the days of Huma Dragonbane. And Kaz was always one of my favorite characters in the Dragonlance series. Just absolutely loved the way Richard Knack wrote the Minotaurs. Because you take what's normally a beast, a monster, a bad guy, and you see the story, you see one of them have honor and a predilection towards good, etc. And so seeing their culture mimic, and so the similarities and the dissimilarities between his culture and sense of honor and the Knights of Solamnia in that series. Very interesting contrast, and especially where they line up together, and what let him and the original main character, Huma, bond and be companions. And so, but I love the Minotaur culture that Richard Knack wrote for the Dragonlance saga, and Kaz was just the epitome of all things Minotaur. And even though he was very much against his own culture, just his actual sense of honor and sense of self have always been what Minotaurs should be. And the more he wrote, the more those aspects of Minotaur personality came out and were used. And so I remember that was the first time I ran the double fighter. One of them was Kaz, and I was so excited in the first town you get to, the second one technically, Provoka, you could buy an axe there. And I was so happy to be able to give Kaz an axe, because that is the Minotaur's preferred weapon in the books. And so I was so stoked to be able to give him an axe, and that lasted for like a couple hours of gameplay, and then at most, and then he got a sword again. But for that brief time period, I gave Kaz an axe, and I was so happy about it. And we're about to go to a town. Waste everything, please. Alright. We are making a pit stop for some items. Oh no, goblins. So the things I did not realize, because, you know, RPGs and video games have been a part of my life the whole way along, and I don't necessarily realize when certain things start or not. I did not know that Final Fantasy, the original, was the first RPG-style video game where you had the split between the left and the right on your screen of my guys on one side, the bad guys on the other side, and that's the combat screen. Before that, things were more like Dragon Quest, where it was a first-person perspective staring at the screen of monsters, and you do your attacks. So if you played the original, or any of the Dragon Quests up to a point, I haven't played most of the later ones. I have played up through maybe 8 or so. But you see your characters, or you see just the monsters on the screen, and it's all first-person perspective. This was the first game that had the left-to-right combat screen, which, it's weird to think of something like that being innovative. Well, I have 60,000 gold. I can start buying high potions now, because I will need them. Again, high potions were not a thing in the original game. Yeah, 35 potions, that'll last me for a while. Restores 1 magic point for each magic level. I could get behind that. Okay. Buy some Phoenix Downs. Tons of money here to work with. That's nice. But I don't need anytime soon, so might as well stock up. Buy a little of everything. So I've got stuff. There, and everything's nice, neat, divisible by 5. Because that's a thing. Alright, oh. Well, I'll go sleep in the town once I get back over to Melmond. Diagonally sailing the boat in this game just feels weird. You being able to use diagonals at all in this game just feels weird. It actually throws me off when I play on the mobile version of any of these old Final Fantasies. The ability to move diagonally, it's not right. I need up, down, left, right. That's it. Anything more does not feel right in these old games. Should line up right with. Oh, and up too high. I forget where the point is. Used to have the exact spot on the continent on the right of the that land where Cornelia is. You used to know the exact spot to sail up to, and then make a hard left and go right through the canal here. But the smoother landscape actually throws me off because I don't know where the exact spot is anymore. There used to be a curve in the land that when you lined up with that, or I think it was maybe the space in between two curves, took you right through the canal. Doom, doom, doom. Alright, we're lined up. Yeah. Okay. You've saved your game. Please do not turn off your console. Wait, wrong version. Alright, where's the dude who eventually I will need to talk to? He's across that river. There he is. Look at me, I have special hair. There's nothing that I, the great genius Dr. Une, do not know. What? You've never heard of me? Inconceivable. If I had a better Vizzini voice, and if I knew he was going to use that word, I totally would have gone for a Wallace Shawn inconceivable. But I don't know if it's possible to do that voice without sounding obnoxious. He does it perfectly, like you can't have him, and I don't know that you ever get annoyed listening to his voice, but listening to anyone try and do his voice, no. I do love the little John Travolta disco move that the thief does when he wins. Poisoned. Nothing like poison than anything else. Alright. Disco. Red Mage does jumping jacks, Thief does disco. Persona, you, and you. Alright, we're just gonna race through this place now. Assuming I remember the maps. You know, I hate tarantulas, or my brother had a tarantula, and my mom had a tarantula as pets when I was growing up. They don't look like that. Those tarantulas are slimy and green and nasty. Our tarantulas were brownish red and fuzzy and kind of cute. Alright, move it back. Alright, there's the room that had the treasure, so we go straight down. I know I missed a turn there that would have been slightly faster, but we did not have trolls growing up, so that could be what a troll looks like for all I know. Really bats. Alright. Alright, back down to level 3. There is a room over here on the right. I don't know what it's going to have in it in this version. It's not worth my time. I think in the original game, the only item in this other room somewhere over here that was worth getting really was the cottage. So maybe there'll be one, but they also may have sort of really fine. They may have upped the treasure in this version. Oh, ochre jellies don't seem to have the same damagers. Alright. Alright, they're not so hard to kill then. I was expecting another one of those 1, 2, 3, 4 hit damage points. Like with the ooze in the marsh cave. Sleeping bag. Alright. Oh, it's that room that's up top above that has it. You can see it on the minimap briefly. Spot healing here. Good. Go. Starting with the map. Alright, everybody kill your mark. Well done, Kanan. Well done, stats. Nice shot, Dozo. Alan, good moral support. Faster if I did the dual target on the first one. Pisca demons. Literally, your name means fish demon. I don't. What? That is not an intimidating name once you know what it translates as. There we go. Look at this fight again. This, yeah, like I said last time, this is not a fight you would have ever possibly faced in the previous version. I'll bet you he can take that at the very least. At least targeting the front one. Yeah, so they can take it. They can one-shot the Cobra Chiefs now. There we go. Four double white enemies. That's all you get. They're 1.5 wides, technically. I don't want to oversell the size of the bad guys. That was the most you could face right there, was 4. This 6 big enemies. I don't know what that's all about. You really need more hit points than that in the game. 4. That's Black Mage level hit point gain. Who didn't finish theirs off? Probably. There we go. Look at that. Good teamwork, guys. Yeah, tiny hit point gain. Come on. Items. Let's do E-spell. We're still fresh enough in the dungeon. Alright, there's your spells gone. Kill the spider, burn the whole house down, kill the spider, kill the spider. That is a bloody big spider though. I smite you with the rod. Okay, here we go. Gotta remember this level. Okay, I think this way. That looks good. That's a dead end. I think I go this way, and I want to trend up and left from here if I remember. Ah, Cock tries to go away. Go away. Kill him fast. No, let them run, please. By all means. Let the evil birds run. Okay. Alright, we're good. Again, being turned to stone in the middle of the fight, not that big a deal in the long run. I've got the gold needles, but I still have that thing where I don't like my characters dying. I'm more than a little salty about Kanan having died a couple of videos ago. Alright, now we should be going up and left. Ambushed. Swim away, little fish demons. potions are now simple enough that money's not that big a deal, so I don't mind burning potions now. That was a mistake. 2 hit points, really good use there. Right as I was about to start sprinting. Poor troll's apparently got a splitting headache. No wonder they're so mad. I've been there, man. I've been there. Alright. That is where I'm going on the left, so we just gotta go up and over the wall. I love how the thief has so many more hit points than the monk does. And by love, I mean I hate that because he is my frontline fighter. He's supposed to be doing a job up there. And I recognize he's not the actual fighter class, but he should still be better. Alright, which way are you gonna go? No, don't go that way! Stupid bat. Keep going. If you ever get stuck behind those things, it's actually the fastest way to get an NPC out of your way, or a bat in this case, in one of these is if you push against them to like try and go through them, when they eventually move, they move faster and they get out of the way one direction or another. Unfortunately, that bat chose to go down and block the whole hallway. But yeah, if you just were to push against them, the game actually programmed it in to go faster. So watch, you go push him. He didn't do it. I lied. There, if you stay pushing against them, they do it in this version. Old version, all you had to do is you just push them. Kind of one of those useless life tips. Alright. I don't know if it's gonna trap me in a cutscene or anything in this version, so we're gonna heal up now. Alright. We're gonna do a quick save. Alright. Bring it on, Lich.
Speaks to me. I am he who feeds on the power of earth. I will not be disturbed by mortal men. I am the Lich, filled of earth.
Alright, let's go. Haste. And just in case, you're gonna kick off a heal spell, because he usually goes early and does crap like that. Ow! Yes, haste before he attacks. Good. Good. Alright, Paladin, you're gonna have to step up and use the big hit, the big stuff. Magic. Haste. Him. 12 hits and 86 damage. Really? He did more last time. Dude, that is not cool. Alright, now I need to temper him. Alan, you are just... this is why the White Mage is necessary at this point. Because he is the only one who has the AoE healing spells for when they do annoying crap like that Lazara 2 rounds in a row. No. I just hasted them. Alright, and now nobody's in immediate danger, so we're just going to use that one, just in case. Dude, Kanan with the temper spell on you. Nice. Now you're stunned. Lich, you're a jerk. Way to shake it off, Kanan. Alright, you need haste again. Paladin, just keep up the healing, because you never know when we're gonna need it. Stop that! This cannon's still dishing out some decent damage with Temper. I don't think he can dispel Temper. So haste counteracted the slow, but it didn't re-haste Durzo. Alright, we're just gonna haste Kanan again, because he's got the Temper at least, and can keep dishing out some damage. Paladin, I mean, your last few turns have been kind of a waste because of that, but I'm afraid to not use healing and have it blast me with more AoEs. Like that. Couldn't have swapped those 2 turns. Dude! Kanan! Love you, dude. Alright, and by the next time I fight an elemental fiend, I will have upgraded classes and have 2 people casting haste and temper and upgrades galore. No musical fanfare? Kind of a ripoff. This is the altar of Earth from which the power of Earth flows forth. Alright, cool. So I gotta wonder, like, so we walked up and we had 4 crystals. Which are good for what? Like, how do those 4 random crystals we just happen to have with us? I can understand beating the fiend stops him from drawing on the power of the magic crystal there and restores it to the earth, etc., etc. But what the heck are the little crystals that we supposedly brought with us? Supposedly. God, I just said supposedly. But the 4 little crystals that we started off, that we showed off to the king to prove who we were. What are those for? Because it's not like you get an upgrade by carrying around the crystal with you. Not once it's fully powered or something crazy like that. That's one of those things that is never ever addressed or brought up. It's just carried over, and you think about the original and that you say, I have the orb. You place the orb on the altar and things work, and you never really stop, number one, to think, where did my characters get these magic orbs from in the first place in the original? Let's reset magic really fast. But so not only where did we get these from in the first place, why are we the Light Warriors? You know, what's our backstory? Did we meet in the tavern? Did we find each other in the Green Dragon Inn and realize, hey, you're a Light Warrior, I'm a Light Warrior, let's go save the world? Need an origin story. Final Fantasy Origins, oddly enough, didn't cover that. It's like the rest of them, you know, Final Fantasy 2, you get a backstory, you know who those people are, where they came from, why they're fighting the bad guys. Final Fantasy 3, 4 kids in a village, alright. Final Fantasy 4, you know everybody's backstory to one degree or another. 5, same thing, you've already find out everybody's backstory. Now, Final Fantasy 1, no backstory whatsoever. You just mysteriously appear on the doorstep of a kingdom with magic crystals in hand. A little bit lacking there, you guys. I get it, you know, this was early days. At least, but I mean, even Dragon Quest, you have a reason for being there. You don't know where you came from. You're just Erdrick's descendant. Spoilers, by the way. And you're there to save the day. Okay? Simple enough. You gotta prove you're his descendant. You apparently have no means to your name whatsoever because you show up with, like, a stick as your only weapon. But, you know, you got something to work with. And then from there, all of them had stories. Final Fantasy. You don't need the backstory. on. Somebody do it. Kill it. Alright, the world is about to open up to us in new and interesting ways. The wrong way with that, didn't I? Hey, one ran away. That makes this a 2-round fight. If Palin can kill him. He cannot. Alright, we're back to a 3-round fight. Thanks a lot, Palin. Don't ask much, man. You can kill the goblins in one shot. You can kill skeletons in one shot. Apparently Sahagins, not so much. At least these Sahagins can't turn you into a bloody frog. Final Fantasy Remake, looking at you. One of the most obnoxious fights in the game. It's fighting the Sahagin Prince, I think it is, and he just frogs you all the time until you figure out how he's doing, how to avoid the attack and how to time it and everything. I turned into a frog so many damn times before I figured out how to dodge that. I also said this, like the frogs in Final Fantasy VII, when you get turned into a frog, probably the best frog being turned into in any game ever, because you're Cloud as a frog with a little Buster Sword on your back, hopping around. It's awesome. It's worth it to get turned into a frog just to see what all the different characters look like when they get frogged. I don't think you see Barrett, like he's not a little frog with a gun arm. Kind of disappointing in that. Magic apparently can restore his missing limb temporarily when he's in frog form. But Tifa, she's got the gloves, so no transformation there. But Aerith, she should have the staff on her back. I don't think she does. I think Cloud is the only one that really gets something special. He gets his Buster Sword on his back. I don't even think you have to be using the Buster Sword. But you get the little mini Buster Sword on your back when you turn into a frog. Alright, who's left? There you go, stats, take him down. Almost to town. So much poison. Alright, levels, yes, we're gonna need those where we're going next. Alright. Go talk to the old dudes. Alright, which one of you has my canoe? Is it you? Yes, okay, so now here. Sadly, this has drawn the notice of the Fiendifier, who is not to have stirred for another 200 years. Kinda lame. Take this canoe, go face the Fiend in Mount Gulg. I will do that in, like, several more hours, and, after having beaten all the other fiends first. Mount Gulg is always the last place I go of the fiend areas, because you don't really need to go there. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go out now that we have a canoe right across the lake there. Thank you. Wow, stats not doing very much damage there, buddy. Alright, now this is the point where I really start to diverge from the original quest line. Come on. There we go. That's a nice hit point gain. Now you're catching up with the dude. Alright, so we're gonna go down. I think technically it's faster if I go left, come to think of it. Maybe when we get through the next dungeon. It's in the middle. Alright, we're gonna go down here, sail past the marsh cave. Left click? What does left click do? No, nothing. Okay. I need to figure out what it is that does that speed up. I don't remember what button that's supposed to be. Not one of those. Alright, simple enough fight. I just don't like wasting magic if I don't need to. Almost. Alright, past the marsh cave and up to Elfland. Okay. And from here is a quick hop, skip, and a jump to where we're going next. Now, in the original sequence of the game, you are supposed to take your canoe and maneuver your way down through the torturous little maze. You can see it on the map. There's that little maze of rivers in the bottom right corner on the big land mass there. And Gold Volcano, you look at the yellow dot where Crescent Lake is in the far bottom right. Then you go up a little bit and then left, and that sort of dark shadowy circle, that's Gold Volcano. And so you have to sort of navigate your way up and around and through to find the path that will let you take the river and get to the volcano, which is filled with lava that damages you with every step and is obnoxious. And originally that was the only way we needed to go, and so it was just, you just had to deal with it. You load up on potions, you walk as far as you can, then you heal everybody with a potion. And then you kick off whatever healing you do, and it just saps your healing abilities as you go through, and especially if you don't know where you're going in the volcano, you get lost, and you burn health trying to figure out where to go and trying to track down worthwhile chests. And Gold Volcano is just one of my least favorite dungeons in this game for that very reason. In its original timing, you're supposed to use it. The way I play the game, Gold Volcano is a breeze and does not take very long. And you don't have to worry about anything ever. So what we do here is we go south from Elfland, but you're supposed to go to the Gold Volcano, and then you find out, oh, there's something in a cave, also in that maze of rivers. And so you find your way around, and we'll be going there in a little while. And you torture your way through the maze, and you find the ice cavern. And then you get the float stone, and you take that, you get your airship, and you fly around in your airship. You find dragons and all sorts of other magical things, and eventually you are directed to this castle, Castle Ordeal. And the only way to get to Castle Ordeal with your airship is to land way up to a little bit to the north and way east, and then you have to trek all the way through a whole bunch of crud all the way over here, and it's a massive slog, and it's a pain just to get to the castle to then what you do. But one of the key features of using the boat and canoe, and I hope to God they didn't change this, I just realized they may have, but I doubt it. One of the key features of using the boat and the canoe together is that you can go directly from your ship into the canoe if you find a navigable river. And so at one point, while playing this game, I realized there's the handy dandy river right here, that you can just exit, and boom. You are now at Castle Ordeal, ready to go for the next step. And I'm going to end this video because we're at 45 minutes, and next time, which I'll be recording in a matter of minutes, we'll be going into Castle Ordeal for the next grand award that you get at the end of it. One of the most awesome items in the game of any Final Fantasy ever. It's amazing. And we'll be doing that next time. So thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos and that you keep going. And hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.